working with Act 4 of our Arthur Miller play, The Crucible. And it has around 4 scenes. This is the shortest of all the acts, Act 4. Act 4 will begin in the jail. In the jail. And Marshall Herrick will wake up Sarah Good and Tituba, and he is going to move them to different cells. The purpose of it, so they don't have contact with each other. It's not very good to have 2 witches like together, so he's going to have them separate. Okay. Sarah Good and Tituba are going to say to Marshall Herrick that they're waiting for the devil, and they're intending to fly to Barbados with the devil. So they're going to go to Barbados to meet with the devil. Okay? And that's it for scene 1. Now we're going to go to scene 2.
Who were the 2 wishes?
Sarah Good and Tituba. Paris will speak to Danforth, and he's going to say that Reverend Hale is trying to convince his people to admit their crimes, to admit their guilt. Okay? We know that there's 2 reverends. Reverend Paris, a good one. I mean, the bad one. Reverend Hale, the good one. Okay? Paris will also say to Danforth, hey, Abigail and Mercy Lewis have disappeared. They're gone. All of a sudden, they're gone. And how does Paris know about their departure? When he goes to his house, he's going to find out a box that he has with money. That money's gone. Apparently, he's thinking that she's going to use that money, Abigail, to go on a boat and go away from the town of Salem. Okay? There's a place called Andover. Andover. This town, Andover, apparently they're having the same situation as Salem. However, in Andover, they're starting a rebellion because they don't believe that the court is being just. Same way as Salem. However, they started a rebellion in Andover, and they are afraid. Danforth, Paris, and the crew, they are afraid that they're going to start this rebellion in the town of Salem. One of the reasons that the people are not happy is in Salem is with the future execution of Rebecca Nurse and John Proctor. So John Proctor and Rebecca will be executed. Rebecca and John are very respected in the town of Salem. Rebecca is a woman that we know that they respect and they cherish a lot because a person has done very good things for the people. And while John Proctor is very respectful, even though he had the affair with Abigail, that was behind scenes. So people have high respect for Proctor. Okay. Also, at the door of Paris, he is gonna find out a dagger stick to the door. So Paris is afraid that the people might attempt against his life. So Paris is very concerned about this situation. Paris will tell Danforth, well, Danforth, I know you're the leader, but I think that we should postpone the execution of Proctor, the execution of Rebecca Nurse, until the people calms down and we don't have major issues here. Danforth is going to say, no, we're going to stick up to the plan, to the rules. They're going to be executed. Harris, and Danforth refuses to extend it, and they're going to continue with the plan. Reverend Hill will go to the cell of Elizabeth, and he's going to speak to Elizabeth, and he's going to ask her, can you go and speak to Proctor and tell him to confess the crime? In this case, if he confesses, he's going to have the best part of it. It's not going to be executed. And Elizabeth agreed to speak to John. Okay? When Elizabeth speaks to John, John will consider confessing. He will consider it. Now Elizabeth will say, well, I respect, if you do it, I'll respect you. I'll still be with you. I love you. So I'm not gonna punish you or treat you bad because of this decision. She's gonna also tell John that she forgives him for his affair with Abigail. So now we're seeing a much different Elizabeth than at the beginning. At the beginning, she was strong and she was more, much cold with John. Now we're seeing an Elizabeth that is compassionate and more with the affection towards John Proctor. Okay. That's it for scene 3. When we watch the movie next week, you're gonna understand a lot of the characters. The cast of characters that are gonna be playing the movie is a very good cast of characters. The guy that plays John Proctor, very good guy. He's a very good actor. And the one that plays Elizabeth Williams, Abigail Williams, I'm sorry, very good acting also. So you're gonna feel that pity, that compassion with the characters, and anger with other characters. So, scene 1, scene 2, scene 3 are done. Now we're gonna go to scene 4. Okay. Scene 4. John Proctor will confess orally about everything they're accusing. So he will confess, he will admit it. But we know it's not true. Okay? Rebecca Nurse will listen to this confession, and she's still firm. I'm not going to confess something that I have not done. Okay? Danforth will tell John, well, John, everything is good, but I need you to sign a confession, a testimony. You need to write it down so we have it written and signed by you. So John Proctor says, well, no problem, I'll sign it. So he does it written, he signs it. However, Danforth will tell Proctor that that document will be nailed to the door of the church. What problems can this bring? What problems can the nailing of the document in the door of the church could bring for John Proctor and his family? How does that affect John? The bad reputation. That's going to mess up his good reputation, and forever he will be known as a person committing witchcraft. Do you remember, same time period, Nathaniel Hawthorne's story, The Scarlet Letter? Remember all of the things that happened to Hester throughout the novel, Scarlet A, and all the finger pointing of all the town. Same thing that will happen to John Proctor. Same thing. Okay? When John Proctor learns this, he is going to tear apart the document. He's going to break it. And he's going to say, I will not put my name in risk by signing it, and then you're going to put it in the door of the church. If I already confessed, accept it, and that's it, Danforth will refuse, so that's why he broke it. Hale will be all surprised, and Hale is going to go to Elizabeth and tell Elizabeth, you need to speak to John, convince him that this is a mistake, and Elizabeth will say, I will not do it because John is already in peace with himself. So it's at that moment that they're going to grab John Proctor and they're going to take him to the gallows and they're going to execute John Proctor. So at the end of the play, John Proctor will be executed. He will die. Later on, when time passes, they're going to find out that everything was a fake and they're going to release the prisoners out of jail. However, this is very comparing to the tragic hero that is John Proctor. So John Proctor will be our hero here, and he eventually will fall by a big injustice. So at the end of our play, one of our main characters, John Proctor, will be executed and he will die. So all of the things that the girls did and all of the things that Abigail Williams did are going to cause the life of not only John Proctor, it's going to cause the life of Rebecca Nurse, of George Jacobs, of Giles Corey. He also dies. So this is going to be a collateral damage left by the accusations of these girls. Arthur Miller is going to use this 1692 witch hunts in Salem, Massachusetts, and he's going to compare it to the accusations in the United States during the 1950s and the communism in the United States and McCarthyism. So that's why he's going to put that together. So same thing that happened in 1950s with the accusations in the United States will be the same thing that will happen in Salem, Massachusetts, 1692 with the Salem witch trials. So basically, that will be it with our Arthur Miller play, The Crucible. Thank you.